number 4, and I'm excited how we're starting hour number 4 out here at KSDT CPA offices here in Dayland, because I've got Dr. Francisco Cidral, and this is a special moment for me because, about a year ago, Ed goes to me, "Hey, you're having problems with your hair, right? And you're lighting hat on." And I'm like, "Get the hell out of here, dude. I mean, I'm going to try a hat on and it's going to help me grow." And he goes, "Hey, it could happen." And he goes, "It's worked for me." And I'm like, "All right, I'll try it." And so, Doc, I got to tell you, we're a year later, and I've filled in I'd say about 85% of it. And and even baby hairs are still growing in other areas there. That I call it the natural yarmulke. And I am now eliminating the natural yarmulke that we all developed thanks to your red light therapy, Doc. So thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm very glad to hear that.
No doubt. And by the way, Dr. Cidral has a master's and PhD in neuroscience and a postdoctorate in health science. He's also an expert on how light energy impacts our health, and he specializes in integrative therapies and neurobiology of pain and inflammation, and also has several clinical studies published internally on light energy therapy. Doctor, welcome aboard. And, we've been talking about Red Recover here on the show for a couple months now. And obviously, I've been on it for a long time because I told Ed, I got to try it first. I do not back anything up unless I know it works. And then I can actually do, and represent it, because then that's how you feel good about it. And I showed everybody the before and after pictures, which freaks you out on the before and after pictures. But the question I have for you, first and foremost, what led you to this? What was that watershed moment for you, Doc, that you said you were so intrigued with how this can make a difference with so many different aspects of our life, not just growing hair, but pain and discomfort and all kinds of things?
So that happened at school, actually, when I was at the university. My background is integrative medicine. We have I did my studies in Brazil. The family is Italian, but I was born in Brazil, but I've been in the U.S. now for 10 years. So I actually, like a James Bond, I got 3 passports: Brazilian, Italian, and American. But
do you take the car with you so you can the license plates also?
No. Yeah. So I did my studies. It's similar to a naturopathic school here in the U.S. It's a full-time 4.5 years program in integrative medicine. One of the subject was, of course, low-level light therapy, and I just loved it when I was a student. Like, I started getting my hands onto anything that I could on the matter. And then after I graduated, I went into a 2.5 year specialization, and I did acupuncture. I never liked the needles very much, and that's when I started using lasers instead of the needles. So laser acupuncture results are phenomenal. After that, I said, I want to understand this more. So I went into a full-time master's in neuroscience, studying photobiomodulation, lasers, and LEDs, and then a four-year PhD in neuroscience, studying the same. Became a professor of neurophysiology, integrative medicine, and photobiomodulation at the university. So I was supervising students going through the clinic. In the last years, they have to do like an internship, and the results that I was seeing were impressive with this therapy. And back in the day, then I started going into not only near infrared like lasers and LEDs, but then far infrared as well. Developed some patent formulations on the far infrared part of things, and was brought into the U.S. by different companies to work with this technology. So I've been here for about 10 years doing scientific consulting and research for different companies, and I'm still a professor of integrative medicine, neurophysiology, and photobiomodulation, and supervising students that are going through masters and PhD in neuroscience or in health sciences using low-level light therapy. So it's years and years of research, and every year we find something new. There is a lot to it that we don't yet understand. It's very well validated, but but there is a lot more, to discover, which is incredible.
Folks, if you're dealing with chronic pains, maybe old injuries, or maybe even after soreness after workouts, red light therapy is amazing. Go to redrecover.com. You can check out the video blogs, but you do have the expert right here that's going to tell you exactly why it works. And I've been explaining it to you all, and I've been telling you about the hair, and I've been telling you about Sean, who, Doc, by the way, Sean has bone on bone in his knee.
Wow. Yeah.
And even the red light therapy helps alleviate the discomfort.
Okay.
And he also feels like the blood flow also gets better around the knee when he's using it. So, explain to us, what is red light therapy, because I'm watching, like, my wife, her pain is being really, getting lifted. I see Sean, with less discomfort. Me, my hair is growing. So walk us through, what is light therapy and the history behind its start.
So the history is pretty old. I mean, low level light therapy has been even described in the Vedas by the it's which is the basics of Ayurvedic medicine. And
Mhm.
about 3,000 years ago, they started using sunlight for therapeutic purposes. Where we're separating, of course, sunlight is full spectrum. We're looking at a specific spectrum or a specific part of it, which is close to the reds, and the near infrareds are where we have a lot of those biological activities. Not to say that the other wavelengths do not, but a lot of the pain medicine and the sciences behind the red and the infrared. And so it started there 3,000 years ago, and then about in around 1905, 1904, there was actually a Nobel Prize for physiology, and it was for the treatment of lupus vulgaris with light therapy. So then the science started to pick up, but once they started studying with lasers. Lasers is generally, the first uses are high intensity lasers, and if you have a very high intensity laser, then you can actually damage the cell. That's why they use it in dermatology, to remove the skin, the upper layer of your skin. There's a lot of things that are done with high intensity laser. The one that we're talking about over here is not high intensity, it's low intensity. And that was basically discovered in 1965. There was an experiment that was conducted by a doctor in Hungary, and he was working with mice. So he would make an incision, and then he would put tumor cells underneath the skin, close it up, and then hit it with a high intensity laser to actually try and remove the cancer cells. So in one of the situations, he had to change his equipment, and when he started the therapy, the treatment, he was not killing the cancer cells. What was happening was that the hair on the animals was growing faster, and the incision was healing faster. And then he was like, high level laser is not supposed to do that. And then he sent it back to the manufacturer, and the guy said, "Oh, I'm sorry about this, but I sent you a very low level laser by mistake." So it was by mistake that they discovered that there are two different effects. If you hit it with a high power, high irradiance, then you actually kill the cells. If you hit it with a very low irradiance, you are stimulating the processes within the cell. That was 1960 something. In the 80s,
Wow.
NASA started to do a lot of studies, the NASA here in the US, and they wanted to develop some sort of an approach or a clinical approach to treat wound healing in space, and also to increase plant growth. And then they decided to use photobiomodulation. They developed specific types of LEDs that they used. And if
Mhm.
you go now to the NASA website, they still have that. They have that line of research, because very high intensity is bad. Very low intensity at a very specific parameters is very good. What it is doing, the basics of it is stimulating our cells to create energy, and that's a very good thing.
Yeah.
Inside of our cells, there is one of the organelles is called mitochondria. Everybody heard of the mitochondria, because the mitochondria is like the powerhouse of the cell. It
Right.
generates the energy for everything that the cell does. So it happens that inside of the mitochondria, there are specific molecules. One of the complexes inside of the mitochondria, pardon the technical name, but it's called cytochrome C oxidase, is a photon acceptor. Is a molecule that alters its behavior when red light hits it. And what it does, it accelerates production of ATP, which is cellular energy. So you're talking about something that is naturally enhancing your own cell's ability to create more energy.
Right.
So no matter where you use it, it's going to be good, right?
Yeah, no, in fact, Ed and I were talking about this because you're talking about the overall benefits for humans and animals. And one of the things he told me with the hat, that it's also going to help generate blood flow in the brain too at the same time.
It
So
does.
yeah, so it's interesting. While it's growing my hair back, it's actually also benefiting me in other ways, which is what you're talking about. That the laser therapy is not only in the healing process, but it's also doing other things.
And it's very well validated. If you go into the National Library of Medicine, the National Center for Biotechnology Information, that is hosted by the United States government at the national libraries, and you type into their database low level light therapy, or low level light therapy, you're going to see about 8,480 publications talking about the benefits and the studies. If you look at low level laser therapy, because it's a little bit longer, it's about 10,000 publications.
Right.
So it's very well studied, and the overall clinical effects is it increases microcirculation in the area. It's going to increase production of cellular energy because it's stimulating the mitochondria. And then you have the side effects, and the side effects are very bad. They are increasing angiogenesis, increasing the oxygenation of the tissue, increasing production of collagen, increasing muscle regeneration, decreasing inflammation, increase nerve regeneration, and increase even bone formation. So those are very bad side effects, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Because you're stimulating the cell to
Right.
do its thing. So that's another interesting point. It's not something that is invasive, that is going to then create a lot of, it's going to act in the specific pathway, but it has a lot of bad side effects. And like we know with a lot of, medicine, a lot of drugs that we take, with this, you're actually stimulating your own endogenous processes. So the body knows what it's supposed to do, and that's what you're doing. You're stimulating your body to do what it's supposed to be doing anyways.
Yeah. It looks like sometimes the drugs manipulate, this stimulates and gets it to do what it's supposed to do, instead of maybe some of the drugs maybe doing things that we're not supposed to be doing. So yeah.
Exactly. It's because
Yeah.
when you're stopping a pathway that is supposed to be there, sometimes you have problems. This one is not stopping anything. It's improving. It's giving the cell energy. In the case of your hair there, for instance, you have an area that was not growing very well. The follicles, maybe the circulation there was affected. The hair, follicles needed more energy to produce and everything else. That's what you're doing.
That's amazing. Dr. Cidral joining us. By the way, he's going to stop by once a month so we can explain red light therapy to you, because it's one of those things that is kind of intimidating. But as you can tell, the doc has told you, this thing's been around for about 100 years now.
Yes.
They've been working on this, and obviously they've done a fantastic job at redrecover.com to create the kind of wraps to help your back, your neck, your shoulders, your elbows, your knees, your ankles. So if you're sore from workouts, you've got old injuries, or you're just getting old like I am, and
Yes.
you've got some soreness, red light therapy will help you. I'm actually going to get one now for my shoulder, doc, because from sleep, I'm a side sleeper.
Mhm.
From sleeping on the right side shoulder, it's gotten a little sore there. And
That
so,
it's going to help. It's going to help for sure. And the good thing I say is, it's not just to treat a problem. Imagine it's something that's helping your cells create more energy. You don't have to have a problem to do that.
right.
We can
Right.
use it prophylactically.
Right, exactly. And preventive too at the
Yes.
same time. It could be for preventive. So go to redrecover.com, use our code Big O. You will get 10% off. It's great for the kids because there's no medications. It's all natural. There are no side effects whatsoever. You got the kids running around picking up sprains and strains all summer long.
Yeah.
You need a little wrap for the ankle or the knee or anything like that, or for yourself, go to redrecover.com. Don't forget to use the code Big O so you can get 10% off. Doc, thank you for taking some time.
Thank you.
Look forward to catching up with you next month. And what we'll do is now we'll start giving people certain parts of the body that they can treat with Red Recover and show them the way and educate them a little bit more in the process.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. I appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
You got it. Dr. Francisco Cidral, and of course, redrecover.com. And he's going to show us every single month how light energy can impact our health and help us like it's helping me. It could definitely help you. Go to redrecover.com. 1 minute.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.